Dylan, because when I called her at the beginning of the season, she's the kind of coach that never backs down on something that is in support for women's sports, and she was smiling. I mean, obviously she wasn't obviously happy with the outcome, but she was smiling before the game and after, saying that, you know, this was a great situation. And I always tell her, anytime that we can come and participate in something like this, that gives back to the community. So not all coaches can have that type of attitude, and I have to say that really goes without saying, and that's the type of person, type of character that she has. So, but now after that part, I'm very happy. You know, we've been talking about the month of February and how we can finish this thing out and what a great team we are and how we haven't even played our best basketball yet. And I'm really proud of them. And we can just keep maintaining this consistency and don't look back. We could be a team to reckon with come the tournament.
Coach, where does this rank all time defensively?
Oh, ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, a team that we know from the past 4 years with Tay that in the past you would try to switch them, you would try to do this, you would try to do that. They would just really minimize and find, you know, your weaknesses. And I thought the ball pressure, the consistent ball pressure today was something that they just weren't ready to deal with. And I attribute, you know, these three folks that are sitting right here. We did it on the fives, you know, the fours, on everyone. We just played insane ball pressure on everyone.
Annie, you were guarding Holly Mershad. She's held the 4 at 20. Just what did you see, you know, trying to guard her, and how did you have so much success with her?
I just basically picked off of what Candace Bond did. Just trying to keep the intensity up. We know like she's a big factor of the team, and like when coach gives you a job, like you just take a lot of pride in it and just try to help your team out any way you can. And like that was what I had to do. So.
Dre, you had a double-digit lead last time against them at the half, and then lost. You have a double-digit halftime lead this time. What was the message in the locker room?
It was revenge. We didn't want it to happen again. We didn't want it to change our momentum coming in the second half. We knew what could happen. We knew that either they can come back or we can keep punching them in the face and we could just win the game. So we went out there, we talked about it in the locker room, and we wanted to win. So yeah.
Shante, the word revenge has been thrown around a lot. You finally get it. Just how good does that feel?
It feels really good. You know, we were not happy with that loss at Diamond Philly. You know, like you said, going in at halftime, it was like the same situation, and we kept stressing, like, keep going at them, keep putting pressure on the ball, and, you know, it turned out good for us.
Shante, last time out, they held you to 10 and 7. Today you get 14 and 13, you get 10 shots up. What were the differences inside today and about a month ago?
You know, I got a couple shots off a transition, running the floor. My guards were hitting outside, so it opens up in the middle. So that was basically the big difference in both games.
Coach, team starts 4 and 9, shooting from 3-point range. Just how big was being efficient shooting outside early?
It's great. I said we've definitely gotten our legs back. We definitely shot a lot since you know, the last few practices and just really, you know, just kind of focusing on ourselves. So, you know, we are this type of team. It's interesting, you know, some of the inconsistencies with the youngins. It's nice that the freshmen are feeling a little bit more confident and just giving some pressure away from Tay. And obviously, you know that Andrana can shoot from behind the arc and Amy Payton. So it's nice that they're getting the payback here for all their work.
What does this do, Coach, knowing you can score 53 points in the game and for the most part win pretty easily?
Yeah, you know, it was really no looking back today. You know, we're talking about what we said in the halftime too. It was just a feeling of like we know that, you know, we know what we've done and where we're heading. And I kind of felt like that way the whole half. It was like we're not going to let up. We're going to play. You know, I was talking all week going into the game and to the coach's show about being the aggressor. You know, even when it was 6 minutes and Annie's breaking down on 1-on-3 and goes to the basket, I didn't at that point was not yelling slow it down to her. You know, it was the times maybe when somebody bobbled it, Dre had to run and go get it. Okay, that was different, but it was like attack and get them on the back of their heels, and then know when that she needs to get the ball, and then be a little more patient with it. And you know, even though we only scored 53 points, and it was that tempo question that I had to answer all week, we still did not stop attacking. You know, and so I think that was a mindset change. Like for me personally, as a coach, that's like throwing everything out on the floor. We're not backing up. We're going to keep the pressure on them, and you know, we're not backing into anything. We're too good to be backing into anything. We need to just go at everything full throttle.
Annie, this is one of those three teams that are above you in the standings, and you fell to all three of them on the road, including Delaware and James Madison. Was that something you guys talked about in the locker room, and how much confidence does this give you moving forward, getting a victory against one of those teams above you in the standings?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about where you end up in the standings. That's if the determines whether or not you get a bye in playoffs. So, I mean, getting that win, it's really crucial. Getting the next couple wins are also crucial. So we're just taking it one game at a time. Even after the loss in Philly, we weren't worrying about coming back and worrying about getting them back here. We were worrying about our next game. It's always about the next game. I mean, it feels good because revenge is sweet, but yeah, we're always worrying about the next one.
Shantae's revenge on the mind again Sunday?
Of course. That's another one that's probably left a bad taste in our mouth, and we're just looking forward to on Sunday when we come here.
Andriana, what do you guys have to do to keep that intensity up to bring it to James Madison?
We have to keep pushing the ball. We have to keep playing defense like we are. We've played tremendous defense in the past 2 games, and we have to keep it up. Defense wins games, and it's telling us right now that defense really does win games.
Coach, how about the way Thomas and Andriana has grown up kind of the last couple months? And how in what ways has it made you?
How much taller has she gotten?
Depends on the shoes, I guess.
Yeah, no. I've said this a lot in the weeks past. Just I don't look at her as a sophomore. I look at her as a major Division I athlete that wanted to come here and get banners on the wall. And anytime that I need to remind her of that, I'll come back and put her back in check with that, or talk about could be one of the best point guards in the league, down the road. And I know her teammates know this, so I don't do that to inflate her head. I do that to inflate Shantae's head. It's a healthy balance of her understanding that responsibility, and don't focus on anything negative with that responsibility. Embrace the heck out of that responsibility. It's a fun one when you're capable. Like if I had to do it, or Annie had to be the full-time point guard, when you have the tools to do it. I know we're laughing because I've seen her face, and that's the way I was too back in the light years, back in the dark ages. But because you just didn't have that skill. But when you have the tools that she has, embrace those tools. Don't let anyone think that they can outman you or and I think that to me has been the growth with her. It's like when she chooses, it's insane. I don't want to be on the opposite end. So, it's going to be growing with us. We both are pretty passionate, pretty hot-headed at times, but that's okay if she realizes that we can move forward and get over it and go to the next play. And but it's the responsibilities that point guards have. It's just fun we get to talk about deep stuff here in our media. But I've been proud of her, and again, just looking at her as an athlete, not as any categorization of her year, because she's here to run the team.
For 93, what was it like playing in front of the packed MAC like that with 1,000 screaming kids?
It was a good atmosphere, And at times you can't hear yourself, but we love kids. They bring excitement. Got to talk to them a little bit, and like the process before even happened, we were at a little pep rally at their school, and that was crazy, but it was a great atmosphere out here.
All right, thank you.